Yeah. Okay, recording in progress. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So maybe in a minute we'll start. And we're gonna have people go to the podium when they talk. When you give your report. Okay. Oh, you're right, you did. No, I don't. I'm not. Oh, we gotta do the additional. Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't think I'm talking. No, you're right, you're right. Good, good, good. Oh. Do we have enough chairs? Probably with her sister.
Oh.
I have, don't I have your name, so? Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea. Yeah, she's over there.
Oh, good. Oh, okay.
We'll count heads here shortly.
They are very pretty. Different. Jennifer got that. Yeah. She paid for registration. You paid. And she have a good fun. And she said, oh, her son's coming. That setting is so bad. And she I've ever been to this school. And then he would visit arrogant to see like that. Raven was saying, we've been to some. Right. So you got yeah. Yeah, are you flying? Have you guys ready yet or not? I don't know what time to schedule them.
No, but it does help probably if you can. I know a lot of nonprofits do that. Because you know how much if they didn't do that, it was gonna cost them kind of business.
Okay, I need to get my bag.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. No, this will be good. Here, it'll be here, and then you can put the here in and. Okay, because I'm just sitting here. Yeah, you can check it. No, this is perfect, buddy. This is great. Okay.
Okay, we gotta get Dominique going.
Okay, so let's see. Am I going to block? If you look at
Are
the
we blocking the
screen,
way?
We'll get it to the podium there. Is that better?
I'm
want
still in it.
I want it to.
I don't care.
I think-
Nobody wants to sit there and look at me for hours.
Okay, is that focus on the podium?
What do you think?
Is that on the podium?
Great.
Yes,
I'm still there, but
Okay.
yes.
I wonder if I should, it seems like it might be kind of distracting to have a person just
Well, I
sitting.
can still
Oh, there.
adjust it.
Okay.
I can move it forward. Does that eliminate some of that? Of course, then I
Just my
can't see
shoulder.
to do anything.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, you need to be able to.
Yeah.
Well, We'll see.
I'm Jan and you are.
Well,
Increment.
you need to be able to manipulate that. If you move your laptop here, is it too close?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me what that looks like.
It's just my shoulders. So it's-
Well, if I change it to speaker view only.
Nobody knows. Everyone that's come up to the,
Yeah, they're gonna come up to,
that's good.
they're gonna come up to the podium.
And I'm not complaining. I just,
No, I know
you just really
exactly
wanna
what you're
just
saying, yeah.
Look at me.
And what I'll do is, I'm gonna mute. Okay, here we go here. Stop.
It covers everything.
So, yes, it's Steve.
They don't have to worry. You know, Anne brought her beautiful flowers too.
Well,
Everybody was very obedient. But I was a patient person and so patient.
okay, so how does that look? Any better?
Well, I know that, yeah. Just hop around and look. I can, then you'll see what I got. See, I can move over. Well, we'll see. There I'm,
Now, will that be during your break?
not, they have to, so why not?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't move it,
Yeah, it's.
Everybody will miss.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does that help?
Oh, now it's just the podium.
Yeah, okay.
But how much do you have to do?
Yeah.
I guess I'll do nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
I don't have to do anything until the bathroom starts.
The city basically kind of.
And then I'll have to move
Yeah.
to the meeting.
Okay. And even the kids in
And
office.
I can plug it in while
Yeah.
And,
That's a good idea.
I'm not. Myself. Okay.
I don't have a cold. My throat was just feeling kind of dry. You know, it is, it's very arid and I was really noticing the difference in like my skin was just soaking up the.
I know, yeah. I've got some hand lotion.
I'm sorry. No, I'm from
My
Berkeley.
husband and I were in Utah and some ladies at one of the places we went were saying that the Midwest and like, we've always wondered what we'd look like if we lived in the Midwest. But they both, and they were only 50 and they did have, you know, weather look nice.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you look like it.
Okay, I'm having to use a temporary gavel since I left mine in the room. I'm calling the meeting to order. Sorry, we're starting a little bit late, but we're just having so much fun. Everybody. We're just gonna have a little bit of business before our 10 o'clock breakfast. And we have our Zoom. Okay. Have people on Zoom. So we actually got a lot done yesterday. I was very impressed. So we have a couple of visitors here. My friend Laura Beckman Hedge is here from Houston. She's actually part of the ABA, so she's here for the ABA meeting, and I'm recruiting her to join us. So she's here to watch what we do. And then I'll be introducing our visitors who are here for the breakfast at that time.
And then
So,
Patty's here, so we can introduce her now, so she's ready here.
very good.
Yeah.
Nice to see everybody.
She's president of San Antonio Bar Association.
You are.
And her husband Santos is the incoming president of the State Bar of Texas, so he'll follow.
Wow.
We're
welcome. Did not know he's a guest here.
Yeah, yes, I know.
Thank you. Okay, so we kind of yesterday we sort of left off. Trying to see, where did we leave off? We were talking about, we went through all our officers' reports. We were talking about our committees. We went through Teacher of the Year, auxiliary support, judicial. Okay, so this is a big one, and actually our guests might be interested in this. Noelle, we kind of left off with the Yerkemeyer Scholarship. So just so for the benefit of our guests, one of the things this organization does is give out scholarships. We have one big one that is actually funded by a donor, and I'll let Noelle kind of pick it up from there.
Noelle, can you come up to the podium?
Yeah, why don't you come on up here?
We're gonna ask all the committee people to come up here so that we get you on Zoom.
Yep.
Thank you.
So for those who don't know, about 3 years ago, we had a wonderful benefactor who
wanted to give us some money. Her mother had died and she wanted to do something with her mother's estate. And her name was Catherine Jergemeyer, and she was one of our Teacher of the Year committee members. I don't know if she was head of the committee at one point. So we went through gyrations, came up with several alternatives, and what we decided on was the $10,000 high school senior Jergemeyer scholarship. And that was 3 years ago. And we started publicizing it. And the first year we got 32 applicants. And what it focused on, we won't focus on a high school senior with law-related activities, high academics, drive, whatever they could throw into the pot that would make them worthy of this. Last year, we got 67 applicants.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
The first scholarship went to a young gal who ended up going to Cornell, out of New Jersey. Second scholarship went to a young fellow who was going to Harvard. The third year, we ended up with almost 90 applications, and we ended up with 2 girls who were both going to Harvard, and they were both outstanding. We're like, what are we going to do? We can't split the baby on this. So we decided to create a second scholarship, and we were calling it the Carr Scholarship, based on another benefactor of ours, the Carr Foundation, because we can afford to do that. And so we ended up doing 2 scholarships, and now we have adjusted the Carr Scholarship to make it more of a needs-based for those students who aren't getting money thrown at them at every school. We found out from our ones that go to Harvard, our lovely $10,000 that we give them basically goes into their pot at Harvard, and Harvard takes away $10,000 that they would give them. So it's like really not fair.
Yeah.
So we decided to create this other one that's more of a needs-based. We're very excited about doing that. It's a little trickier because we have to ask for financials for these kids. Their FAFSA, what is that?
FAFSA.
Yeah, application for scholarship money. Jill is going to help me fine tune the language on there to make sure all our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted. So anyway, that's going to be rolling out this spring. I've sent out the first e-blast on this, and we've kind of taken the Teacher of the Year award and the scholarship award and put them together as far as our outreach, because they're essentially 2 sides of one coin. And the information we're going to send to the Teachers of the Year, the same stuff we would send the scholarship information. So we decided to roll our promotions out together. And the first one went out, and I'm already getting some feedback. No one's sitting in their application because they're going to wait till a week before the deadline to do that. So yeah, it's looking good. I'm going to start digging deeper for new emails. So if you all know of anybody, it can be tangential to teachers. It doesn't have to be teachers. It can be friends who know teachers, students who do things, mock trial people, state bar people, anything. If you know somebody who might be interested in this information, please send me their email address and I will get them on our list. We do a lot of teachers, but teachers turn over, their emails change, they put up firewalls. So sometimes we have to go to outside sources to get the information out there, but we're working on it. That being said, I anticipate over 100 applications this year, now that we have 2 scholarships, and it's a monumental, daunting task to go through them. So I'm looking for volunteers to help me go through all these applications. And I've figured out a way to take all the, they have to provide their transcript. They have to provide 2 letters of recommendation. They have to provide a laundry list of all their activities, their outside activities, their law-related activities, anything else they want to tell us about. And sometimes we get 13 or 14 pages of stuff from this. We have changed the topic for the essay. They have to do a 500 to 750 word essay. And it was last year, I forget what it was kind of dull. We had it the last 3 years. Now we've changed that to how my law-related education and activities inspire me. So it'll be interesting to see. And it'll be interesting. And the past 3 winners, 4 have had outstanding essays. And that almost has been what the deciding factor is the essay. that being said, to make it less onerous, I have come up with a way cool little device called a flip book. You've seen them like grocery store flyers. And what I'll do is I'll take all the information and put them into these little books and submit them to whoever's going to review them. And I think instead of everybody reviewing every packet, maybe depending on how many we have and how many people want to contribute, I break them into pieces and people pick their top 5, then we go from there. So anyway, it's rocking along. The deadline is May 31st. We will get all our applications in on May 29th. And,
Exactly.
and we pick a winner by July 1st. And this year, since we're going, oh, one of the things I wanted to do also, since we are going to be going to Toronto, which is kind of far, yesterday, how I feel about that. We also give them a $1,000 stipend for airfare, travel, and hotel. And I'm thinking if they should decide to go to Toronto, if for some reason they're on the West Coast or Hawaii or someplace, that maybe we should raise that amount to $1,500, just because things have gotten so expensive. So at some point, I don't know how to do this to make a motion to raise that stipend to $1,500. I'll let me make a motion. I move that we don't.
Because you don't know. I mean, if someone really has the expenses of 1,500 and they turn it in, I'll pay it. But I don't want to just raise everybody's stipend to 1,500 because we just give out the full stipend.
Oh, well, maybe we don't do that. Maybe we say up to 1,500 on that.
Okay.
Well, maybe we say, okay, we'll pay up to $1,500, but you have to submit your receipts.
That would be fine.
We could do that. Okay. So do we need a motion to up that amount? Okay, I move to make the reimbursement for travel and lodging to $1,500 for our students. It might as well do it for the toys also. Teachers of the Year. Up to $1,500. For the teachers and the students, the ones that come. Yeah, if they don't come, they don't get it. Sorry. They're gonna get $10,000.
They get $10.
And the judge?
To the motion, we receipt, make it a.
Yeah, upon review of receipt. I don't know how to. Yeah,
That includes spouses, so you could.
that's just a general
For
sense.
single person, I think that's, you have to put that into.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not, it's just one side. Yes.
So could you restate your motion?
Oh, God. Restate it for me, Joanne.
I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't know. So we're gonna give everybody who attends, who's a recipient, up to $1,500 reimbursement if they come, or the person that receives the award only. Which has to
Upon
say-
review of receipt.
They have to submit the receipts to our treasurer.
Yes.
But it had to be for travel and hotel. Okay, it can't just be for travel.
So we got an air. We don't care.
Yeah.
Air and hotel.
But they have to give us receipts. They can't just go, willy-nilly. So all in favor, 1,500. Anybody opposed? Oh, second. All right, so 1,500. The speaker's not my forte. So, yeah, and so if anybody's interested in reviewing these things, shoot me an email and I will get you on my list. So that's it.
Thank you, Noel. I know I was there when they first started when it happened. Do you want to ask? Do you want to ask him? You could raise your hand.
Health part, explain about all about part. I think some of our current members probably need an update.
Now, let me explain what CAR is. As Noel mentioned, we had a benefactress, actually her family. When she died, she'd been very active in ALA. And they decided they had no children, so they decided they would give their funds to us to invest as we thought fit. So they gave us $330,000, put in the bank in investments, and we have a pledge. I think it may be in the gift itself, we're not to go below that. Anything that we earn on that $330,000, we can spend for our projects, which we do. So that is what the Car Foundation is.
What year was that?
No, I was not here then. Kitty, would you know? It's a long time ago.
Who's the oldest in the room?
Well, and I will tell you that, for years, we didn't do the things we're doing now. We're able to do it now because the market's been really good for one. So that's been a good thing. And we've also expanded what we do. So, that's basically what the car is. Several years ago, we decided we would invest it not just in conservative stocks and bonds, or excuse me, treasury bonds and very conservative investments. We decided we would put some of it in BlackRock, which is a index fund with a lot of different stocks. It was a good thing we did that because our conservative investments over the past 12 months have been 1.86%. Our BlackRock investments over the past 12 months have been 14%.
Nice.
So that money that we are getting in that 14% is good money that we can use to invest in what we want to do. Our Teachers of the Year, our extra car scholarship, judicial award, those kinds of things. So we have decided yesterday in our car meeting, we would move another $25,000 from our conservative investment part over to the BlackRock. And I'll show you a chart. This is on the website, for example, if you would like to look at it closer. If you go on the website, AmericanLawyersAlliance.org, you will, and the password is lawyer, lowercase singular. This report's out there. All the reports are out there, so you can go see them. I don't know if you can see this very well, but the red part, the smaller red part is the BlackRock part. And the big ugly color there, that's conservative investments. So when we looked at that, we said, okay, we need to make it a little bit bigger for the part that we're getting the 14% out of and decrease maybe the amount that we have invested. Now, again, that's all based on the stock market and what it does. And it's all been kind of crazy, but that's what we are. We're kind of crazy anyway. So that's what we do. And we have a report this time, and then we'll have another report at the annual meeting. I don't know what else to tell you about CAR. I will tell you that if we continue to spend the money that we're spending without the market increasing, we're going to hit that mark of $330,000 that we can't go below. So that's something we have to keep in mind when we're doing things like increasing expenses, increasing awards, all that stuff. We can't get above the mark. And I think as Sharon pointed out yesterday, our budget's about $35,000 a year. So we don't bring in a lot of money outside of that. So we just need to keep our eye on that and make sure that we're not continually going down. And there's a chart in there. You can see the chart. It'll tell you. And for example, 2018, we had a total of $469,000. This year we have a total of 425. That's conservative and BlackRock. So we're going down every year, but the market keeps going up. We're doing great. Virginia. That's a suggestion. Now, the interesting thing is, we have so many lifetime members who do not have to pay dues anymore. I would guess, and I'd have to look it up on my database, we probably have 75 or 80 lifetime members who don't pay. They can pay a sustaining donation every year, and a lot of our lifetime members do. Our members who are not lifetime members and just pay annually, maybe 18 or 20 members. So we don't have a lot of people in that pot. If we increase it, that's not really going to increase our revenues that much. So there are things we can think of to do. I don't think we're going to do a bake sale, but there are ways to look at what we do. Maybe decrease some expenses. For example, on the Teacher of the Year this year awards, the Toronto meeting starts August 6th. Most teachers are going to be back in class August 6th. They go back earlier every year, it seems. We may not have any teachers able to come physically to Toronto to accept the award. In that case, we'll do what we did for our 2 scholarship winners last year and what we did during COVID. We did a video, and I showed the video, or they were live on Zoom. If they're already in class, I doubt they can be live. But so that doesn't mean because you all just approved that increase that we're going to spend that. So that's just something to keep an eye on, and Sharon keeps an eagle eye on all of our expenses, so, so that's all I know about. Any question, Virginia?
Not saying right now, but maybe people come up with ideas for a fundraiser, since we can't raise our.
I think we should do that over drinks.
There you go.
Getting all the people in all the different states and auxiliaries together to do a fundraiser, I'm not gonna be in charge of it, but I'm sure somebody would.
Sell or could create, sell on our website or something that people, I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Something to think about.
It'd be a great idea to get a way to bring in more funds to what we're doing.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we should think about that.
Yeah.
Push the Spading Life member, it's a donation and not dues.
It's a donation,
And, yeah,
and it's any amount you wanna pay. I mean, it's not, a lifetime membership is $300. If our, non-lifetime members all decide to become lifetime members, yeah, that would be a significant amount for 18, 20 people to give us $300 a piece. But most of them are older and they're not gonna do that.
that's true.
So they may not have that many years left to make it worthwhile. Questions? Okay, go ahead on the website and you can see the numbers. Thanks.
Send them to me.
Pardon?
Send them to me, so I can post them. Mary Ann. On the platform. Laura, please.
Still, I'm working with the Constitution in every fifth grader's pocket and pushing that, and I have the materials for those that have not received it at past conventions, explaining the project. You'll get one of these constitutions. This is I put a sticker on the back of these that I give to the teachers and the judges when I'm attending the conventions, giving ALA credit for as a gift. But when you do it in your own community, if it's your organization that's doing it, you put your own sticker on there. The idea is to get it into a student's hand. This can go in the high schools. It doesn't have to just be limited to fifth graders. But fifth grade is the time when teaching changes from learning to read to learn. And that's why I started the fifth grade with this project. I update this every year. This is instructions for whoever's going to give this book to someone. This constitution is different than the ones that you can get for free from your states. It costs about $1.21 when you include the shipping costs from Andy McKean. In the center of the Constitution book, there are 24 flashcards, which essentially gets a student into the book to see what's in it. The instructions for the teacher or mentor, if you have a lawyer come in to do it, they can do that too, instead of the teacher. But this explains how they can finance it for themselves if they don't have financing from an auxiliary. You noticed I gave some to the lady yesterday that presented, and she was very excited about it. She said, well, that's cheaper than I can get any books that I buy. So it sounds like she might be going to do some in this area to get these books to kids to know what's in a constitution. I once had, and when I was at a presentation meeting to a Lions Club, I had the question, Mrs. Ferris, do you think we ought to get rid of the Constitution? And that really made me step back for a minute. And I said, well, the first off, you have to know what's inside of it before you get rid of it. And that's why we get this out, so no matter what your political leanings are, you know what's in your Constitution before you start saying, we don't need it, or we need to change it. Along with this instruction sheet of how to do it, there is a test, a pre-test that whoever gives this to someone, for the student or an adult, to go through, what do I know about the Constitution before I even look at it? And you'd be surprised how many things, if you're not giving yourself this test, you'd be surprised that that you don't know a lot of these things. Then after the students then uses those flashcards to find different sections of the book. And there's an index in the back of these books, which most constitutions do not have indexes when you want to look up a certain topic. So I have one of these, I only have 13 I brought this time due to the limitation on luggage flying this time. For anyone that is new to this, I have one of these and one of these for you. Now, I've also had said a year or so ago that I would do something, but I went back to my computer and I realized that I had already done it. What has happened to our resource book? Hey, do you know? Yeah, we had a resource, look at that. It's our project with our auxiliary resource guide.
That was years ago.
I know, it was 10 years ago. Is that information available on our website?
No, because the website wasn't in
There is no current.
Who has that resource guide?
Nancy Butler did it for years, and we kind of kept up.
That was procedures and guidelines. Yeah. The resource book was what other auxiliaries were
Yes,
doing.
this one,
You did that.
I had forgotten that I had done it in such detail 10 years ago.
Mm.
But there's 31 pages in here of how to do an essay contest. And it's working with, should questions, SHOULD, should this be done? My daughter and I created this one in the state of Michigan, and for 10 years, we did this. And this shows every should question that was created, which some of the teachers were asking about, that teach this sort of thing, the high school teachers. They were very interested in this, and I said, well, I'll work on that to get it on the web. So I would like to suggest that I give this to Noelle to put on the web as another resource.
I would love to do that. You have digital.
I have it in my computer so I can easily email it to you. And if anybody wants to take time to look at it, but this gives you instructions on how, if you want to do an essay contest with your high schooler, this would be an excellent essay contest thing. It was very well received in Michigan the years that we did it. We did it a lot more fancily than it has to be done. It can be done by an individual teacher, just as an assignment to do these as an essay. And also, I need to take time to look on the State Bar of Michigan's website, because I noticed in the past, and I think it's still there, they have samples of the winning essays from all the years already posted on our website. And the teachers that I talked to in past said that they were very interested in this. You can see it's 31 pages, and I didn't remember really doing it when I started looking through it. I said, I did this years ago, and I was going to try to recreate it again for the teachers, and it's already been created. But I'm sure there are other things in that resource guide, Noelle, if we can locate it. Does anybody have a physical copy of the resource guide? Is it lost?
I have to tell you, I may have one, odds are not good, because it was a big binder. And I got all the auxiliaries to submit what they did with their programs, and that was probably 2004, 2005.
Yeah,
So whether I have that.
I'm not sure what.
Kitty,
it says.
Kitty, do you think you can do yours in the next 10 minutes? You're talking on right
I think
now.
that's really fast, do you mind?
Why don't we get you in here so we can, do our last piece of work? Great. Do you have anything else?
So also I wanted to tell you that I can keep track of how many people view our videos, our mock trial videos that we have on our website. It's also on YouTube. And on YouTube, 66,000 people have viewed our videos through the year. Granted, they've been up there for years, but that's a good sign that we're seeing it. That doesn't include any of them that found any of this information or the scripts from our website. I continually have said on YouTube, if you want the script, you have to email me for it. And that way I get ideas of where people are from, and they're from all over the world that are asking for these scripts.
Should give her a hand.
Yeah.
Our new people, I have these, so you see what the project is, because everybody else has seen it before and tried to present it in their communities. I cover my entire county. Even through my illness problems this year, I've already gotten out 2,500 in my county. by delivering them to each school. And the teachers call me and want it.
You're amazing, Mary. I'll take a shot.
But if anybody wants to see this resource guide, this is what I had in my computer. It's shocking it was still there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Mary.
I don't have this.
Amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about long range planning, and we'll talk about.
She's already gotten this in the past.
Thank you, Maria.
Any new people, I know they're,
Now, we started the mock trial, gotten involved in the mock trial competition, and last year, Janet Bollinger and I went to Wilmington, Delaware, and volunteered there. We volunteered a couple of afternoons at the registration desk, and then we also, our job was to escort the judges to their courtroom and stay in the courtroom to make sure there weren't any problems. This year, we're gonna be here in Phoenix at the Hyatt Hotel, right where you are now. So if anybody would like to go back to Phoenix, the dates of this mock trial competition are May 8th to 11. It's Mother's Day weekend. They do that on. Oh, wow. So, and what we do, the committee has approved a sponsorship, $1,000. Last year was 2,000, but this year it's 1,000. So, and for that sponsorship, we get ALA logo included, all the sponsor signs. We have recognition on the championship website and the Bar Foundation website, and recognition on the Arizona Mock Trial Facebook page, and one ticket to the judge's reception. Now, last time when we were in Arkansas, Jennifer was there, and Barbara and Mona, a friend of hers, and all of us went and were invited to the judge's reception, which was quite lovely. But I would hope that people would be available to come back. I know my friend Natalie is interested because she lives here, and she's worked for people at the Arizona Bar Foundation, and they know her because I wrote a letter. Oh, we know Natalie. So this is good. So if anybody would like to come back in May and work on this mock trial competition, the kids are coming from all, well, you could send a representative mock trial team from all 50 states, and you can also expect people from South Korea and the Mariana Islands. So it's an interesting combination of people, and you have students, teachers, parents, judges, lawyers, volunteers, and more. 1,200 people attend these things, and it's so impressive. And the venues they're going to be using are ASU courthouses, Arizona Center, Snell and Wilmer, and Hyatt Regency Hotel. So we have a lot of people, and I know that, I believe Natalie knows these people. We're working with Laura Slipko and Marie Elders, and they're with the Arizona Bar Foundation. But this is a wonderful project, and I'm so happy that we're involved in it, and we've just done it for about 3 years now. We did Arkansas, we did Wilmington, and now we're going to be back in Phoenix. So if anybody's interested, please let me know, and I'll get you all the information. They're still putting it together. There's going to be a website, of course, with all of these things going on. And I didn't have my folder. Well, that's it. Anyway, that's basically it. And I encourage anybody who can, because it's a wonderful experience. The kids are amazing. They're so smart and intelligent, and as you might imagine, and each state can send a team, and team consists of like 10 people, and coaches and parents, and everybody come. And the first year I was able to attend their award ceremony, and it was, you can imagine, this is 1,200 kids. I mean, they're high school kids, and they're so excited. And when the group comes in, they all cheer each other because they're competitive, but they're wonderful kids, and they get along, and they all encourage each other. So you have an award for outstanding artist because they do sketches during the trial of the judge or whoever. Outstanding witness, outstanding prosecuting attorney, outstanding defending, whatever. So they have all these categories that are so interesting. Last year, the school that won was from Lackawanna, Pennsylvania. I'm not saying that name. So I think, but the other thing we proved the other day, we're going to have lanyards for the meetings from now on. So this is a lanyard from someplace else that I do, but we wanted to get lanyards because I know people don't want to put pins in their clothes, and yet we need to know who we are. I need to know, so I looked. And so we're going to order lanyards that say American Lawyers Alliance with the .org. So we'll have the website on there. And the other thing we did a couple of years ago was Joette was what's Joette? Yeah. And she was able to order bracelets that we gave out to the kids. And they have our websites, but they also have the URL code that takes you directly to the scholarship. And that's what this is for. Go directly to that scholarship information, apply, and we give these out. And we also give out, but this allows us to talk at 2 round tables. One of the round tables is for the teachers. So we talk about ALA to the teachers. The other round table is for other people, I can't remember the names, but you other people that are involved in the program and was allowed to talk to them. So I had 2 opportunities to talk about ALA and how important we are and how much we want to help these kids and participate in their education about the law. So, that's enough.
That's great.
Great. I'm sorry?
The dates again?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, May 8 to 11.
Maybe.
Yes. May I say something?
Sure, please do.
We have one that's coming already and staying with me, but I can take 3 more people to stay with me.
Jennifer's coming.
I'm coming. That's my plan.
Perfect. Now Jennifer did it, so she's a pro.
No, I'm not.
And, but it's a great opportunity just to be around a bunch of really smart kids and appreciate all the work they're doing. Because they have to put on the trials and the interesting thing is that you'll have the group in the morning and one will be, the witness prosecution. In the afternoon, they reverse roles. So they have to learn both roles, either a witness, prosecutor, whatever. So I think it's a great thing and I'm excited about it. So I think you will get excited. Yes,
Hey, Kitty, should we mention that, like, if your spouse or if you are an attorney,
yes, I'm sorry. I
they
just said
need
that.
volunteers to be judges, and those have to be attorneys. So
Well, they have
you
to
could
be
both
members of the bar.
members of the bar,
That's
yes.
it.
At
And-
any bar, like your
Oh, yeah,
husband
my
did.
husband was a
Yes,
scoring
yes,
judge because he's
yes.
a member of the bar.
Yes,
So that worked well.
So,
And so if you have
they
husbands
always
that wanna
need
come,
attorneys.
they always need one. Yeah.
No attorneys.
Yes.
So you just gotta convince them, they gotta come to Phoenix.
Right.
So,
This
anyway,
is
thank
really
you.
the only big event that really gets our name out there.
Yes,
right?
we get a
Yes.
lot of
We
publicity.
get a lot of publicity.
Yeah, and that's good. We run the banners and we get all this stuff going on and it's worth it, And so we donate $1,000 and we get a lot of publicity.
Mhm.
They were really appreciative, weren't they?
They do, they love us, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Find all the husbands.
Oh,
Ready for-
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Okay, now we're gonna break and then we're gonna have our.
Okay, so I'm gonna run over to the ladies' room and then
Remember,
we're breakfasting. Okay.
I think I'll move on.
There's plenty of room over in the corner there.
Do what?
There's lots of room in the corner.
Good, I'm gonna put my stuff over there. Nancy's our
You staying warm?
Yeah, I like it. It's cold for you, is it?
How are you doing?
Well, I lost my notes. Found them.
Oh.
One time I was.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine she did that. Well, I think there's a great. President of the state bar. I already invited her. Yes.
Okay. Very thankful.
Karen, you're my neighbor. No, I just brought that. Up here. And it was up here, and it was out here right here, right? Yeah. Yeah. I started it. So it's probably the meeting. By the time we got
Yeah. Is that all right?
Membership and also the cost of it. It's very successful. It's good. So young. No, that.
No, yeah.
He's a dentist. Yeah.
Yes, I was telling both of you about each other. So, yes, yes. Joey does a lot. Yeah, we're gonna have
Yeah.
They're in here. I know, I think it's.
Yes.
Enough.
Nice to see you.
Oh, good.
And have you taken your? How is it clean? Just, did I get any juice? I have cranberry.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely super easy from. And you can do it from her. Last night, I think I was already actually being 25 minutes after the meeting. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's, yeah. Well, yeah, so, right. I started getting all the free stuff.
You have everything you need? I'm gonna go get you have everything you need? Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Now that black, I was interested in that.
There's a lot.
A saved investment that would bring us some return. And, and we did, we had that money in, we were way above our 330. So we put 100,000 in, we transferred 25,000 more, and then yesterday we put in an order to for 25,000 more. Put 25 more? Yeah, so we've done well as far as, I think that one's. We've done well as far as the market. Now, the market's been crazy to man, you just don't know. But I think we're as safe as we can be with,
Yes.
with a risky,
Okay.
with a stock investment. If that makes sense. I mean, I don't think we're looking at a stock market decline like in the 30s.
Well, for a personal investment, is that a good? Is it?
Yeah, I think so. That kind of return, 14% return. Yeah, that's.
Oh, it is when you told me, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's, I ask them for an update every year or every
Do you?
6 months. So that I,
Every 6 months,
so,
yes.
well, for a meeting, so I can tell the group, okay, here's what our return has been in the last 6 months, here's what it is for the last 12 months. So they know that, you know, what we're doing, are we doing well, not doing whatever.
I'm gonna grab, as soon as like the majority of people are seated,
We'll do the
I'm gonna do the invocation, just so we can do that first.
Sure.
And then we'll eat, and then we'll get on.
For those who haven't started yet.
Well, we didn't expect that, I didn't know it was gonna be out there. I thought it
I thought it was gonna be in here, but wasn't it? Yeah.
people just kind of descended upon it.
I think they're next. Because we don't have time. Oh, no.
You don't like yogurt?
Well, I do. But I'm picky about.
We're gonna try to do the invocation real quick before we actually start. I'm not saying you can't start eating, but we're gonna try to get the ball rolling as soon as those outside come in.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. The state picture today, yes.
Yeah, that's outside.
And the neat thing is, we live in Philadelphia. So,
Oh,
you know,
they,
family,
so who,
friends.
so did you ask her to get? Or did she just start, somebody just started, yeah.
My husband will have. I think you're gonna have to do it.
Yes, that was my husband's over there. Yeah.
Jennifer's bringing up the room. All right, I want to say welcome. I'm Dominique Varner. I'm the president of ALA this year. Welcome to Phoenix. Welcome to our breakfast. We're having a wonderful meeting so far. So we're kind of at past the halfway point. But welcome to all of our visitors. We're so excited to have some new people here. And tell me your name again. Patty.
Yes.
Yeah, she is the wife of the incoming state bar president of Texas. And
The president of San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Victoria left. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. So
We'll introduce her.
Yes.
She's out there getting her food.
who is?
Karen Apfel.
Okay. Okay, as soon as she comes in.
As soon as she
please
gets back in.
introduce her.
Yes.
And then my friend Laura Beckman is here. She's here for the ABA meeting, but visiting from Houston. Who else do we have that is new? Mona. Mona, what is your last name, sweetie? What is your last name? Sure, okay.
It's our maiden name.
Oh, okay. So last night we had a wonderful reception at the home of Natalie Aaron, and her sister was there slaving away. And I'm so glad you brought her to the breakfast this morning. Oh, I know. Well, this will be your payment right here. Let's see, is everybody in? We're still waiting on Jennifer. No. Okay, snap that picture. So we have some family members, and what did your daughter? What do you need? Why don't you stand up?
My husband, Al.
Hi. Oh, thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Her husband.
I couldn't hear you. Oh, I'm sorry. This is my daughter, Bridget, from LA.
And then did you have any, you don't have any gifts?
No, I don't. Thank
Okay. Karen.
Okay, this is my other guest, Karen
This is
Apfel.
Karen Apfel. And her husband,
Trey.
is he here?
No, he's in a different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her husband's the executive director of the State Bar of Texas, and he's a past president of the State Bar of Texas.
So we're very Texas heavy.
Yeah.
Not Texan. We think Texas is great, so we bring a lot of Texas. Okay, at this time, I'd like to invite Barbara to come on up and give us an invocation.
When Dominique asked me if I would do an invocation, I looked and looked and tried to find something I thought would be appropriate for everyone in our group, and I found one I think is nice. I think it sets our expectations pretty well. So I'm going to read it to you. We are surrounded by people with enormous talent, kindness, empathy, and impact, and we've come to attain all these things by some combination of natural ability, hard work, positive influences, a reasonably good education, and even some luck. Our lives might be drastically different if even one of those things went just a little differently. So to begin, let's take a moment to be grateful for the simple fact that we are here, that we are fortunate or lucky or special enough to be among people we respect and admire. Let's take a moment today to express gratitude for the opportunities we've been given and the mistakes for which we've been forgiven. Let's be grateful that we are here to spend this time together. However you got here, we are all glad you're here and we're grateful for you. Let us take a moment to be grateful for the food that's before us and a significant undertaking to even get it here. Let's take a moment to be grateful to the people who are standing among us right now, serving us, ensuring we have full plates, hot coffee, cold tea, and clean tables. Let's be grateful that today, at least for a moment, we are safe, we are secure, we're surrounded by friends. Let's remember that there are many places, some not far from here at all, where any one of us might not be welcome. Thank you for being exactly who you are. I'd like to close with a moment of silence to remember those we've lost this past year and whose presence we miss dearly. Rita Thompson, Eloise Williams, Pauline Krieger, Guy Harrison, and Bob Skill. You just bow your heads for a moment. Thank you, and thank you all for being here today.
That's lovely.
We start the program in about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
That's a keeper. That's a really good, I might want to get, it's ecumenical and it's, yeah. I was part of a coalition to try to develop an interfaith, in our community. And just figuring out the ice, still, but it's, it was tricky to get, because we had, it was primarily Christians, but there was rabbi, and that was two rabbis, one from a lesser, there's like Orthodox, and then occasionally a Muslim. So the ministers would get up.
Yeah, that's right. Just comes and he talks to
They're trying to bring together, but it's also, anyway, they figured it out. And it's a thing.
Yeah. I know you're not really out.
Yeah, well, I'm graduating from university. Office many years.
Okay.
I have been, living in Austin.
But on somebody, somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe not this one, maybe next one.
Yeah. And it's even, I've been thinking about the word offend too, not criticism, but yeah, you don't want to offend, but
Yeah.
it's also,
Right, yeah.
you want to include. Yeah.
They've been there.
Yeah, you wanna include. Yeah, I find, yeah, that's just the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Try to think about, even if,
country,
you don't want to be like, oh, I can't say anything because I don't know if I'll say the right word. But, just if your spirit is with trying to be. Right. It's simplistic, but it's kind of like when you're in a foreign country and, you use enough, use enough French when you get to the table, but then when it comes time to order your meal, you're done.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Behavior.
Yes.
Whatever.
Right. It's not a sporting event where you hear,
They need my family,
My husband never had to use his gavel from the bench, but he was on the bench for 21 years. But one time they had to, in the deputies, there's some lady on one side, they'd have like the defendant's family and everything. She was sticking her tongue out where the people on the
Right, yeah.
So it was a low level. It wasn't really violent, but it was starting to cause a stir. Yeah. So, oh my God, we had to get the deputies to.
What do you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't handcuff her or anything,
Work out, it's a Wednesday, yeah. My husband has.
Oh, yeah. That's a special one for married couples.
Yeah.
Out in public, and one of them's rolling their eyes and the other one's talking, it's kind of like, oh boy.
In land, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
We would have.
I don't know if this is on right now.
Yes. I know, you would look at your. Yeah.
So it sounds like,
You'd like to talk to each one of them, so they want to be like, you know.
Yeah.
Along the freeway.
yeah.
You know, I mean. Where did you grow up? By the refinery.
You know what, we haven't talked anything about the schedule for how much time we have in between before we leave to go to the Franklin break. I bet she'll bring that up.
I'll be through here at noon.
Yeah.
And then the bus, I don't know if it makes sure.
Or if we're there. That's, yeah, I didn't know which.
We leave at one.
Yeah, I don't either. It's in the, it's up against Foothill kind of thing, so it may be kind of similar to what we did last night.
That was a drive.
It was, I enjoyed seeing the paint dye. Beautiful in its,
But I'm like one.
drabness in a sense, you know.
So, you know, there's, you know, it's like it's small.
Our state is green almost all the time, you know, you hardly ever have, you know, it's an anomaly if the grass turns brown. Oh, yeah,
I guess it's just looking at really hot.
clearly.
No, it's over my older brother. Well, summer is hot.
Remember, we drove across Oklahoma and we wanted to see what the panhandle is like.
Now,
Yeah, it's in Colorado. We go to like 3 or 4 times a year. And I don't know, I-40 through city. But it changes enough, because I'm in Northeast.
Okay.
Changes. I mean, they would just do something interesting. Yeah, and it's not.
They just put out fresh eggs, so if you want more eggs, there's fresh eggs, and Jennifer said, eat up because we may not have time for lunch, so this is your meal for the first half of the day, so please eat.
Are you going out to the Franklin Lord ride town? Oh, I've been there. Oh, yeah.
When we did this road trip where we were in the panhandle, we had a 7-year-old kid with us, our son. And he never announced it till it was just an emergency. And so, you know, you're out there, and it's nothing, so we stopped. It was really good to be out of the car, because we just didn't feel, and it really was like this warm, like kind of a hot breeze. And the longer grasses were waving. It was really a neat, like a memorable moment.
You must have just in the summertime.
We were in July.
Yeah.
Just to get out of the car and see what it felt like there. Otherwise, the way we were going, we weren't, you know, we didn't do the whole, somehow we like kind of cut across.
We haven't done the,
And there were,
it's really cute.
windmills that were pumping water into troughs for like free range cattle.
There are a lot of, wind turbines now.
Yeah, that would be different.
Because there's very many out there. And they're but I guess, do they grow?
Something. Farm.
Brings you on this weekend. Like tomatoes and stuff like that. I think for recipe, you have to have a lot of land. It takes you more to feed a cow. But at least there's only not that many. But the land, I mean, it was really very. Now, have you lived in? Yeah, because
But after the war, my dad, those first they were from and they were at Santa Barbara.
Down the street.
After the war, oh, so they get back.
Back Monday.
Yeah, when they came back, there was except for, you know, married to junior along the way, college.
Life, it's all that stuff.
In general, yeah.
Okay.
30 minutes from here, maybe.
There's a, it's probably a decades old novel. I don't remember the author, but you might have, but it's a, something about like 1,000 acres square, you know, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And it was, Barbara Smallwood, somebody like that, I don't know. But it was interesting, it just talked about this 1,000-acre farm owned by a family and transitions through the generations. And some of it was kind of pretty ugly, actually, you know, grief, you know, amongst the kids. Different aspects of land ownership, you know, out where it's like the.
It's still very much, a lot of reservations. There's like 39 tribes.
Yeah.
Some of them are very, very. But the main one. I don't know if Cherokee is one or not, but I can't remember, I should know, and I don't. But they, are still considered.
And we have extra
reservations. And they,
I didn't make them, my sister said they did.
There's still reservations that they're sovereign.
Yeah, I brought
And
them.
so your local law enforcement agencies can't do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's made a
Jennifer always does a wonderful job.
mucked up. I just had a flight. Because there's not a local speed ticket.
Yeah.
And it's made.
That made a headache.
Oh, yeah.
And the people themselves didn't ask for that. It was a decision that came out of something else. Yeah.
The grandkids.
Michigan still has some tribal nations. And I was on a federal grand jury
Back in the day, you know.
that covers, you know, by Traverse City, the top of
Oh.
it. They're the casino, the Native Americans in Manhattan. And anyway, they have their own tribal police up in this part of the state. So, you have cases of crimes that happened on casino property. And so you'd have the tribal lawyer coming, the tribal prosecutor, and then you had the United States, you know, district prosecutors. It made it interesting for, you know, from my perspective.
And tribal judges.
Yeah, and the tribal lawyer, he was so, he was indigenous and he just like looks, he almost looked like a cast, like out of what they call central casting. But, you know, his features looked, you know, kind of like Geronimo, and he had he was probably 60, but had a long gray ponytail and extremely precise and kind. Yeah, he was a really, everybody loved it when we had a tribal case.
And I was.
Because he was just like a really good. But grand jury was interesting because you have a lot of subpoena powers. And they had stopped some people on speeding. Parking lots or something. And it was kind of fishy and we weren't really sure. And so we're like, we want to subpoena the police. And they, you know, dragged them downstate, you know, and we talked to the police officers and, you know, found out what their procedure had been. You know, but yeah, there's a lot of cooperation. But that's been going on a long time. So you're talking about is a new development, you know, that.
So, and they're, you know, majority of the states. And I think Alan Brand's so different because he does.
Like one of my seniors, friends, and that's how I got in so much.
I mean, they're really are specialized.
And then we have coffee and
Who are non-indigenous people, and they don't have their card.
Exactly. But they
they know there's songs to be, and he doesn't do that much of it, but he's gone down, he said they're trying to. Exactly.
Yeah, with the procedure.
All that.
Yeah,
The reason I like it.
Yeah,
they
they-
consider it something
Sometimes $4 to $5.
You're recognized.
It's like something. I made it sound good.
So they've really popped.
Oh, but. And they work because it's on Indian.
So I know. So it's like, it just breaks your friend, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just make my sister and we'll, yeah.
It does me, I feel like it's not very interesting.
Just in the house.
Oh.
Just makes you. A lot of them are sick, the people are in oxygen. You know, I've seen. You know, in northern Allegheny County, there's the Gun Lake Casino.
Yes, yes.
They have put an awful lot of money. They make a lot of money, big strides.
Right.
And they brought it into the small county that I'm from my hometown. And they really have beefed up, they've been able to build like a vocational ed center and stuff. From the increased revenue.
Yeah.
You know,
We have to get all the benefits into.
We're giving a shower and education down at the church.
Oh.
They really do.
I love it.
I think.
Yeah. And this is so pretty. Oh, those are fun.
They got the cigarettes, they got the snacks.
when the casino thing started, we're like, yeah. It took a long time, but what do they call that? Like karma, you know, it comes back. But the cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I read Killers of the Flower Moon. And then, did you read that much? Killers of the Flower Moon. It's about the native tribe there that, it's one of those, you know, we're not the nice guy storms, but we'd set aside land for a reservation that looked like it was, just as wasteland. So it was nothing there, so that's the land you can have. Well, then they hit oil. And then it was, there's a lot of machinations in the court of, well, these people are, you know, there's really been done, all the stuff people used to say about black. They can't manage their money. They need guardians. So all these white guys go in and they exploit it. But they even got to the point where the only way it could pass out of native hands was through a death or something like that. So there was suspicious death that started happening. Yeah, and then they bury him.
And then they would.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, the headlights.
It really is, and they did a movie of it that went quite, it followed the book. Yeah.
But I know.
It's dark though, you know, and I don't know, no, it's not.
But
It's one of the things I like about being in a book club though. I would not pick up that story. You know, but it's on the list. And then you talk about it. Sometimes and sometimes the ugliest story ends up getting the nicest discussions.
Yes, it leads to.
So do you have your paperwork? It looks like we're gonna be starting. It's getting ready. Yeah, I think they got your,
Oh.
so is this just on all the time? Is the laptop on all the time?
Okay, here, we're gonna resume the program now. I'd like to introduce again Jennifer. She's going to say a few words about our first award winner.
Thanks, Dominique. Thank y'all all for being here. Thank you so much for coming. This is just such a fun time to give awards to some in our own organization, and y'all are in for a real treat. So first of all, we're going to recognize our 2025 Outstanding Individual Volunteer of the Year. And just a little bit about what that is. This award is given to recognize an individual ALA or local auxiliary member who most effectively increases both member and public understanding of the law and the legal system. And this individual is active usually as well in her community. This individual is also very involved with her local auxiliary, may be involved in the state auxiliary, and of course in ALA as well. So as Nancy, our winner, is one of our directors. So let me introduce to you all, our winner this year is Nancy Johnson. She is from Kalamazoo, Michigan. And the wonderful lady that nominated her is Alice Gordon, who is also from Kalamazoo, Michigan. So I'm going to turn over the podium to Alice. She's going to say a few things and kind of tell us a few things about Nancy, and so that y'all can get to know her. And then we're going to award her with her Outstanding Individual Volunteer of the Year award. And one thing I want to say about Nancy is we never met. We met, you know, talking on the phone or online, but I knew that I had a real connection to her because she's also from a farming background. So we like immediately, even before we met, because my dad was a farmer, her dad was a farmer. So anyway, it's been just such a delight getting to know you. And I'm so glad you were able to come with Alice. So I'm going to turn the podium over to Alice now, and she's going to tell us a few things about Nancy and why she nominated her for this award.
Thank you, Jennifer, for all you've done to make this event so special. As a past recipient of this award, I know that lots of work behind the scenes takes place to make this all happen. Today, it is indeed a pleasure and honor to introduce to you our 225 Outstanding Volunteer of the Year Award from one of our state alliances. When Jeannie Skilton called me and mentioned this award, we both knew right away we had someone who would be a good choice. But then I asked myself, what are the qualities of an outstanding volunteer? So I thought, I would like to tell you something about our recipient, what she's done as a volunteer, and then I'll share some quotes from other members and things. Did you know that we have a gal in Kalamazoo right here with us today? And her name is Nancy Johnson. And she is a volunteer we're honoring, and she is from the state of Michigan, the Mittens. Nancy has a business background and was a paralegal specializing in probate administrator specialist. She is married to a civil trial attorney who and later became a judge, for which he is now retired. They now both love to travel to Europe as well as explore historical sites in Michigan and the US. They also belong to a bike riding club and a film group as well. Nancy has been a long-time member of the Kalamazoo Lawyers Alliance, serving as our treasurer, and she's done a fabulous job. She's well organized, thorough, accurate, and accountable. Not only is Nancy a member of our alliance in Kalamazoo, but she was also a member of the Michigan State Alliance, and now she's a member of the American Lawyers Alliance and serving as a director. Although Nancy enjoys working behind the scenes, she volunteers and has held numerous leadership positions. As a treasurer, she's kept our books solvent by collecting our dues and encouraging our members to pay in order to get one of our membership rosters. As one of the fundraisers, she's organized a memorial receptions for the Kalamazoo County Bar Association at our new downtown courthouse. The bar pays us for that event. As a volunteer, she organizes the food donations from members contacts the bar association and courthouse, brings in the supplies, as well as sometimes brings her delicious egg salad sandwich. Another one of our fundraisers is our bridge marathon, which consists of women who like to play bridge. She collects their dues and manages her funds.
Watch your wallets.
So they can get prizes and the rest of the funds are donated to our alliance. These fundraisers help us to support events and projects at the juvenile home and the local mock trial competition. She communicates cheerfully and with enthusiasm as she gets projects done, following through on whatever she takes on. Let me share with you some quotes from others and what they've had to say about her outstanding volunteerism. One member said, Nancy's service is marked with exemplary service and commitment to the projects and programs the Alliance supports. Her positivity, historical knowledge, keen eye on our funding has been essential to the success of our chapter. Another member quotes, Nancy contributes so much to the KLA and our bridge marathon. She collects fees from players for prizes and funds and raises funds for the Alliance. Sometimes there are players who are not KLA members whose payments come in a little later than others. Well, it takes time and effort and to be their treasure. She is very gracious to us and expresses her appreciation for their contributions. Nancy is typical of the way she approaches her volunteer work. Another member stated that she knows lots of people in the legal profession, and that's been very helpful. Other members Other members state that Nancy is one of the most upbeat people she knows. Always friendly, ready to pitch in and help whenever needed. She goes above and beyond to make any of our Lawyer Alliance functions run smoothly. She's a wonderful volunteer. Another said she's very good at getting people to volunteer. She's cheerful, friendly, loyal, upbeat, brings joy and enthusiasm to those around her. At the juvenile home, she helped along with others to upgrade the students' library so that now we have a working and functioning Audrey Gray library for the juvenile home with new books, thanks to ALA and their funds that they've given us. Another one of the projects has been our Christmas parties for the juveniles at their home with a pizza party and gift cards. And in the summertime, she's helped with the ice cream socials. But most recently at our own Lawyers Alliance luncheon, we all brought soft toys for the prosecutor's office. And Nancy was the one that made the contact, delivered the soft toys and books to the prosecutor office, and they were so grateful. In addition to our alliance, she also serves on other organizations equally as well as her church and other professionals organizations such as the Kalamazoo Symphony. My final quote comes from the principal and the literacy coach at the juvenile home. Nancy's support and her volunteerism has made a meaningful difference at the juvenile home. Her dedication to our library and the literacy programs has provided students with new opportunities to explore the joy of reading and expand their horizons. And thanks to her efforts, our students have access to resources that inspire learning and growth every day. This generosity not only strengthens our program, but contributes to the city of Kalamazoo by helping to nurture more literate and empowered citizens who can positively impact our community. Thank you, Nancy, for all your wonderful contribution. We truly appreciate all you've done. And now it gives me great pleasure to invite you to welcome our new 2025 Outstanding Volunteer of the Year Award winner, Nancy Lane Johnson.
I'm honored to give this to you. Are you gonna say a few words? No. Okay, well, let me give this to you first, so you can enjoy while you speak.
There we go. And the certificate, wait.
Okay, are you good?
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah, move your drink.
And I-
You wait here. No, I want all three of you.
Yeah, and then one of you can hold on to this from. Just Nancy, there you
Oh, we
Okay.
haven't rehearsed
go.
yet. We're just winging it.
Yes, here we go. Get a little closer. Yeah,
There we
okay.
go.
This is the final light.
Yes. Well,
it.
never mind, we can talk.
Move it.
Yeah,
That's
stay
fine.
tuned.
Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I feel like I should run for office now.
We've got a position.
I've got something in mind. Thank you, Alice, so much for those kind words. I appreciate you took time away from your already full volunteer schedule and all your activities to nominate me for this. And it's just really nice. And I appreciate the work of the committee and the support of the ALA to encourage people to volunteer in our communities. It's really important. I know I'm not the only person here who volunteers. And I feel it is rewarding and it's necessary to really round out our lives. It's true though, when we give, we receive, but it's not always easy. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. And as Alice mentioned, the work we do at the juvenile home, we've been face to face with, these are criminal juvenile delinquents. And we've served them, they thanked us, we dipped the ice cream for them. They're so excited about sprinkles, all the sprinkles we want, we can have. But it's heartbreaking when every time I go to that building, I am uplifted and I feel kind of heartbroken at the same time. And we have to just keep doing those things. We also, as she mentioned, support the Kalamazoo Central. They have an award-winning mock trial team. It's an entirely different demographic. But I feel they all deserve our volunteer time. And it's just really, it's touching that you respect my participation in all those things. Rule of law. It's one of the great accomplishments of our civilization. I'm going to look at my notes. But we bring home the importance of our legal system by encouraging young people to consider a legal career and making the law a human presence in our own communities. So anyway, thank you all so much. And I need, yeah. And I need my chair.
Congratulations, Nancy. So well deserved. Okay, at this point, I'd like to invite Sue to come on up and she's gonna explain our next award.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, this is your lucky day. I had a whole page of what to say. And Jennifer is my witness. I had it over there and it's gone.
Yes.
You are very lucky. But this is I think one of our outstanding things that we do for ourselves, because we do so much for the community and for the law, and this is patting our people.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
over it. See what we're gonna miss. You know, that happened to me one time. I was in charge of a big meeting, and there were lots of men and women there, and the person who spoke before me picked up my papers. Okay. Here we go. But today, I'm not really saying that much, but as you know, we're here to honor Anne and Centrelli. And what a privilege it is to be a member of an organization that has Anne as a member.
And one of the criteria is to show our organization, been an officer, been on committees, have been there to help us in our goals. And so, thank you very much. And see, I'm gonna make it shorter. Okay. This award was first given in 2004. And the first year they had 3 recipients. The second year they had 3 recipients. But see, this is built up because all these people had not been rewarded. But since then, and not every year do we do this, we have just 1 recipient. And so, anyway, Anne, congratulations, Kitty. So I guess I introduce you and you introduce me.
Yeah.
I'm introducing you, Anne, who nominated Anne. Kitty, who nominated Anne.
We're so interchangeable, aren't we?
Yes.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you. I'm going to pass something around right now. Well, maybe I'll wait. Okay, so this is my privilege to nominate Anne Santarelli for the American Lawyers Alliance Lifetime Achievement Award. Anne has been a member of the ALA for many years and has held numerous positions in the ALA. She's past president of the National Capital Lawyers Auxiliary and has chaired and served on several of the NCLA committees, including the NCLA Law Day Essay Contest, where the award ceremony were held at the Supreme Court of the United States. Anne also served on the luncheon committee honoring the spouses of the justices of the United States. And it was held at Congressional Country Club. We did that for years. Fortunately, COVID has done us in, so we had a wonderful time. Yeah. I know several presidents of the ALA attended both the Law Day Award ceremony and the luncheons, and we so appreciated their attendance. It was great. She's also held the offices of Vice President, Recording Secretary, and Corresponding Secretary of NCLA. Anne was also involved in her community as a volunteer with Reading is Fundamental and several other volunteer organizations. As a member of the American Lawyers Alliance, Anne has served as president 2017-18, secretary 21-22, and she also served on several committees, including the CAR Committee, Teacher of the Year Committee, Long Range Planning Committee, Nominating Committee and Procedures and Guidelines Committee. I think she's done it all. As recording secretary, she took excellent minutes and provided outstanding, timely written minutes to the committee chairs and to the board. Anne has been a wonderful asset to the ALA. Her enthusiasm and willingness to take on any task with grace and good humor has made her a perfectly delightful member of American Lawyers Alliance. And of course, her lovely British accent made her. Anne and I have a connection, truly tenuous, but it goes way back, before either of us were born. We discovered this at a National Capital Lawyers Auxiliary Christmas party in 2002. Anne, her husband Albert, my husband Patrick, and my father Albert Romero were at this party. As the evening wore on, and Anne's husband Albert, Anne's father, my father, it was a table. Anyway, as evening wore on, my father and Anne's father were chatting away, and somehow the subject of World War II came up. Because we often talk about that. It turns out Anne's father and my father were both stationed in Cairo, Egypt at the same time. As my father liked to say, chasing Rommel, the desert fox. They were actually there at the same time. Anne's father was with British intelligence. My father was with American intelligence. And so we discovered that back in 2002, that we actually had a
Actually, it must
connection.
have been before that.
Oh.
It must be like maybe like
You're right.
1999.
Yes,
or something,
yeah,
yeah.
I should have changed that. Thank you. Otherwise, I can't keep track. So we had quite a chuckle as these two guys we tried to picture these two World War II guys reliving their glory days. Anne invited Patrick and me to her citizenship party in 1992. Both Anne and her sister Jane became citizens in 1992, and we were so happy to be included. We all wore red, white, and blue, and it was a lovely party. Anne's husband, Albert, and my husband were both partners in the same
law firm in DC and property lesson, Finnegan Henderson, but they both retired from the firm. Interesting factoid. The wife of Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch, the wife of retired Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, and Santarelli were all born in England. We are so happy they all crossed the pond. So now I'm passing around a picture that was taken at one of our justices' spouses luncheon. In the picture, is Mrs. John Roberts. That's right. Oh, I can tell you. Mrs. John Roberts, Mrs. Byron White, born in England, Mrs. Neil Gorsuch, born in England, and Anne Santarelli.
Oh.
Mrs. Thurgood Marshall is in the foreground. This was taken at a luncheon honoring the spouses of the Supreme Court justices of the Supreme Court at our Congressional Country Club, October 5, 2017. If you want to pass that around and just get a glimpse of that. And this is for you. This is not a great picture, but it works.
Yes.
So I'm very happy to introduce Anne and congratulate her on receiving this award.
Heavy, it is heavy.
Okay, I'm looking at.
Okay, I like looking at your name. Can we get a photo? Okay.
Oh, it's there somewhere. The blue?
It's in here somewhere.
It might be down here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, we'll get it.
Okay.
I think
What
the
it is
award's
again.
very, if I find it, I'll hand it on to you. Okay.
No, can't the picture.
I don't know why am I looking here?
Nice.
Thank you. I know it is. I flipped too fast.
Oh.
Well, unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, thank you so much for this very special honor from the American Lawyers Alliance. And special thanks to Kitty, who has proposed me for this award and has seemed to have managed to persuade me to join her in all sorts of things. Mostly good. I started to be involved in NCLA, the National Capital Lawyers Auxiliary, in the early 90s. And having been introduced by spouses of members of my husband Al's firm, and when I became president in 2007, 2008, I attended my first meeting of ALA in New Orleans. And it was about 2 years after Hurricane Katrina. And I always remember we took a bus tour through the really bad parts of New Orleans, and even 2 years after it, just seared in my mind, what New Orleans went through at that time. The following year, I became an individual member. My family has been involved in the law for a long time. My great-grandfather, grandfather, father, husband, and daughter, Bridget, either were or are lawyers. The former 3 in a family firm, which is actually still going. There are no family members in it, but the firm is still running in Salisbury in the UK, just about 90 miles southwest of London. And the latter 2 here in the US and are present here today. So to me, it has always been important to be involved in anything that will enhance and preserve the rule of law, perhaps even more today than at any other time in recent memory. The ALA's mission to encourage civic education in schools and to award teachers and students it's such an important part of ALA. And I also love that we do this book distribution every year when we all bring books to wherever we are meeting and support an organization that distributes books in the area. And that's always been close to my heart. And actually, my first committee assignment was chair of this committee. Outstanding Individual Volunteer and Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012. I was recording secretary for a few years, swapping in and out with Jean, Swim and various other projects and things through the years. It has been really enjoyable meeting all the members and from all over the country and visiting places I might not have visited unless I had joined ALA. It is a very special group, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. Thank you again for this award. Thank you for the awards committee for putting on such a wonderful event here. Stu, Jennifer, everyone. Thanks for the such a beautiful event. So thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Congratulations. Thank you for all those beautiful stories.
Okay.
As Barbara mentioned at the outset, we did lose a few members this past year. And at this time, I think Kitty would like to come up and just do a small tribute to one of our members who passed away rather suddenly, Janice Lambret.
She was a recipient last year.
She had, oh, that's right. She was the recipient of this award last year.
Oh.
So I'm very glad she got the award when she did. It was perfect timing. I remember my husband and I met her in San Antonio 2 years ago,
Okay.
3 years ago, and really enjoyed speaking to her husband, who was a federal judge. And just my husband, Roy, just loved talking to him because he was friends with Clarence Thomas, and we've had all kinds of interesting things to say about him. So, come on in.
So people know what to do. Oh, okay.
Janice Lambert was here in San Antonio a few years ago, and I think you will, or many of you met her. And she was not really ill, and all of a sudden she just had a serious illness that came upon her suddenly, and within days she passed away. So it was very sudden. And her husband's Judge Royce Lambert with the district title. Oh, louder. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Ann. I forget. Anyway, he's just the Honorable Judge Royce Lambert is with the DC court. That's not it. He's a big time judge in DC. And I never get his title right, but he's a wonderful person. And of course, he's had a great shock. And he so appreciated the flowers that were sent by ALA in his wife's memory. He appreciated that very much. And he has a now soft spot in his heart for ALA. Janice was a member of the National Capital Lawyers Auxiliary and received the Outstanding Individual Volunteer Award just this past year. She served as president of NCLA in 1990 and was treasurer of the National Capital Lawyers Auxiliary for 25 years. So there you go, Sharon.
Got some more years.
She passed away suddenly on September the 7th, 2024. And she passed away while Judge Lambert was holding her hand.
Oh.
It's very sweet, but a shock nonetheless. They did not have any children, but they did have two nieces whom they considered their children. And they called them their double nieces because Royce's brother had married Janice's sister. So they had nieces on both sides, and they called them double nieces. And the girls both were Royce's side came to visit him or stay with him when all this happened because it was so sudden. One of the girls lives in Washington State and one lives in New York City, so Brooklyn suburb. Anyway, Royce and Janice had just celebrated their 45th wedding anniversary. Janice was a volunteer at the White House for President Reagan and President George H.W. Bush. Her funeral was held in Christ Church in Alexandria, Virginia. The church is more than 250 years old and is where George Washington worshiped. United Supreme Court Justice John Roberts gave the eulogy at the church.
Oh, wow.
This is a beautiful church. It was packed to the gills with everybody who's anybody. And we were there too. And Justice Thomas, his wife, Justice Kavanaugh, and his wife were among the 100 guests, more than 100. In his eulogy, Chief Justice Roberts used the ALA's website website, description of Janice's contributions leading her to the American Lawyers Alliance Volunteer of the Year Award. So we got mentioned. But it was a wonderful tribute to both Royce and Janice. And finally, I'd like to quote Reginald Bradshaw, a retired U.S. Marshal who had provided Royce with protection for years. He needed protection, so he was very controversial, but he made good judgments. Anyway, so Reginald said, Janice was an amazing woman with a beautiful spirit. Serving as the lead deputy for the U.S. Marshal Protection Detail, there are so many stories I could tell. But one particular event that stands out was when I picked her and Judge Lambert up to attend a funeral. As I was driving out of the blue, Janice asked Reggie, are you carrying a gun? And I chuckled and said, of course. And the judge said, Janice, you don't ask that. But that's how she was. No nonsense and unafraid to ask anything. She always lit up the room when she entered and was simply a joy to be around. It was one of the best times of my life, this is Reggie still, to protect both her and Judge Lambert, and an honor for me to call her a friend. Rest in peace. You're surely missed, but never forgotten. And Janice was my friend, and I can surely echo Reggie's remarks. So thank you for allowing me to. I want to tell you a little story I want to tell you about. When Royce called me and said, Kitty, he's got that Texas thing in, Kitty, I would like you to speak at Janice's funeral. Of course, I said, oh, I'm honored. Of course, I would be delighted to do that, thinking, this would be good. He goes, yes, you'll speak right after Chief Justice Roberts. He said, and you'll speak right before the Attorney General. Then what do you say, right? You go, thank you. What do you do? But it was great. It was wonderful. And I just told stories about what I knew of them when they visited San Antonio, which was Royce and Janice loved. What they were from San Antonio. So they loved coming home, seeing their family and friends, and they had wonderful memories of San Antonio. So I was delighted to be able to talk about that. So thank you for allowing me to tell you about Janice. Great.
Now we're going to hand out our auxiliary awards that we, once a year, we give out a monetary award to our local bar auxiliaries who submit applications. And so I'm just going to, Jennifer, do you want to come up and do this with me?
Okay, if you want.
We're going to, Jennifer co-chaired the committee and okay.
We don't want to get right.
And I don't know if Evelyn is on Zoom or not, but she was our co-chair, Evelyn Albright. And so
Yeah. Is
she
Evelyn on Zoom?
but she and Jennifer worked really hard to accept the applications, review them, and then parcel out the amount. So we're just going to kind of briefly.
So did Noel.
And
Noel
share it.
helping us get it.
And our treasurer kept us in line
Yes.
on what we were, because otherwise we would have.
And President Dominique. Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to start with, first award goes to the San Antonio Bar Auxiliary. Is anybody here to collect for that one? Okay, Dobie.
Come on, guys.
And they're receiving $600 for their mock trial program at Judge Andy Morella's Law Magnet Program. Next, Kalamazoo. Kalamazoo is receiving $700 for support of the local high school mock trial team for state competition.
Would you like me to open?
And what does that go for?
Mock trial.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's actually briefcases, sometimes it's clothing.
Great. Okay. Next, we have the Ingham County Lawyers Auxiliary receiving $600 for the Ingham Teen Court and Teen Programs which provides intervention and support for juveniles.
Hi, Jeannie.
And the Genie Skeleton's collecting for them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
Wait.
Picture.
I'm not Sue. You are right now.
Okay.
Can't read it.
This is for the Houston Bar Association Auxiliary, and it goes towards the 32nd annual Leon Jaworski luncheons. And I've got Jill and Andrew here. Collecting on behalf of receiving on behalf of our chair, who is not here, but Jennifer Hasley, who's a former HBA. Yeah. You want to tell them real quick what?
Jaworski Award? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. So, the Jaworski Award recognizes a lawyer, in Houston who gives outstanding community service for non-legal related projects. So, obviously lawyers are very involved in their communities, but this is for somebody who actually gives back in a non-legal way. This year, we're honoring David Beck, who is a longtime practicing attorney in Houston, very well respected in the Houston community. And the event's turning out to be a huge success. We've already sold 23 tables, which usually we sell about 10 to 15. So it's been a huge event, and it's going to be very exciting. We always have city council members speak. We have a proclamation for the recipient. So it's a very prestigious award in the Houston
And it's
community.
named for Leon Jaworski, who I'm sure that name is familiar. He was the founder of the Fulbright and Jaworski Law Firm, but he had a storied legal career before that. So that's who that's for. Next, Grand Rapids Lawyers Alliance is receiving $500. And Jeannie?
You all know how I
And this
love
is,
CASA.
yes, this
Yes.
is for CASA.
This is for CASA, and our group of elderly ladies, we are too old to volunteer. So this money really helps because we can give it to the organization and they use it with their volunteers. And you can't believe what those volunteers do. It's wonderful.
Okay. Next is the Columbus Bar Association Alliance, receiving $900 for their OWLJ summer camp program. And that's Sharon.
Sharon.
What is it?
They do call it, excuse me, they do call it OWL.
Okay.
And it's for Ohio Wesleyan Junior League combined together to provide a summer camp for middle school students. And we support the program we're on trial. So they have kids do pretend to be attorneys and they have local attorneys judge and play judges and that kind of stuff. And so it's, we appreciate the help.
Great. Is an award going to the Austin Lawyers Auxiliary. And they do an annual scholarship for a student from the University of Texas Law School. And it's $900 going towards that program. And we've got Noel. Not receiving it.
Yeah, some people check.
Yeah. Awesome.
And how many awards do y'all give them? Just one. Just one. Alrighty, so that's it.
This year we're actually doing something fun. One of our social events we're going to combine with our awards event, and it's our Galentine's luncheon in 2 weeks at one of the beautiful hotels, and we're going to be all honoring Emily Late, I believe, is our honorary here. Great. Thank you all very much. Wonderful.
Okay, and our last award is going to the Texas Lawyers Alliance. They are receiving $900 in support of their Teacher of the Year award. Dodie, are you gonna collect that or receive that? Anybody else from Texas? Our Texas table's over there. So we also do, the ALA does a Teacher of the Year award, but so does the local Texas Bar Auxiliary. So this is for their Teacher of the Year award, which will be given back to Jennifer.
Oh my God, it's upside down.
And then when is that? That's awarded in like September, I think.
It's awarded in June. Well, I mean, it's decided on June and then they have the October luncheon.
Noel, do you want to take this one as well?
Because
Or
it's,
to get
it
to the
needs for the
treasurer?
treasurer.
We'll need to give it to Ann.
Huh?
Yeah, she's up in Dallas.
Okay.
Okay.
So this brings us to the end of our breakfast, our awards breakfast. Thank you so much to all our guests for being here. I think this was a lovely, lovely breakfast. Thank you so much to Jennifer and for helping put it together, to Noelle, who made these beautiful programs. Oh my God, she did all the design work on this. I didn't do any of it. She did it all of her. And to just everybody who helped. Yeah, I'm president this year. And before I forget, let me introduce Fred Appleton.
Oh, yeah, wait, yeah.
Can you please stand and introduce yourself?
Oh, we did. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you to Laura and to our other guests who have never been to any of our events. So I hope you like it.
Sue and I were co-chairs.
Yes,
Getting all this stuff
Sue
together.
Bennett.
We had a lot of phone calls together.
They
Hi,
sure
Sue.
did. In fact, I don't even think Jennifer was really supposed to initially be the co-chair of one of these committees, but she kind of got roped in and ended up doing pretty much all, you and Sue did them both.
When I found out Sue was gonna do it, I said, I'll do it with Sue.
We're a team.
We're a team. We're a team. We go way back.
Yeah, I think you were originally just supposed to do the 2 awards and then you ended up doing the
Yeah,
auxiliary.
then I ended up doing the auxiliary thing with you, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
So, anyway, so yes, thank you both for doing all this and making my job so much easier. And I think, does anybody have anything else they want to announce?
The Taliason tour, most of us are going to that, and if you are going to it, we'd like you to be in the lobby at 12:15. We're leaving at 12:30.
Oh.
It's a little drive away,
Okay.
and we have, I think, 28 paid people. So that would be great.
Okay, and the tour's at 1, right?
The tour is at 2,
2, okay, good.
but we have to leave the hotel probably by 12:30.
Gotcha.
Be in the lobby at 12:15.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, we're taking the vans, the same as we did yesterday.
Away.
And, is anybody planning to drive out there? You're gonna drive? Okay. I'm not driving back.
So I guess they're skipping all of this stuff. Yeah. Plus all
I think it's not as far as where Natalie's house.
Right. Right.
We're talking about.
What's the main thing? High five. Yeah. Put together. You know, I was sitting there listening and I was like, I can make this sound really good, but I just go around trying to cause trouble.
I think we'll take a break before we start the meeting. I think.
Yeah. We don't have a whole lot of time.
Whatever we can.
We're just gonna, like right now, we're just gonna take a 5-minute
Oh,
break.
okay. So we're not done. We're taking a break and then we start that other one. Okay, I'm gonna get a picture of you and Jennifer. Okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
we're resuming in 5 minutes. Okay, our business meeting is not over, so we are gonna resume, in a few minutes. And then we'll be, hopefully, the goal is to be done by 12.
Do you want do you want me to get more on that picture now? Yeah, because we're not done yet. Yeah, but then everybody dashes the dash.
Go to that first. Okay, good. I'm sorry. I'm off.
Probably get off.
Yeah. We're gonna drive it. I'll be that one's in your head.
Oh, Jennifer, I want to get a picture of you and Nancy with our flowers.
I don't know, maybe it's just, I don't know. We do a text. You know, it's like, I knew that they didn't go. I got things to do. First weekend.
Congratulations on your. Yeah.
It's just very
We want.
Yeah, we're taking a break.
Oh, right. See, if this is- that is very interesting. And congratulations. Yeah, oh, there's Jennifer, okay, and I'm just waiting, and I'll. Yeah, okay. I want to get it. Oh, yeah, I want to be in here. Let's see, let me get in there. Nancy.
I'm gonna take the
If anybody wants to take Right.
Alan said when I don't know where I was at. So we need to go back. Just love the low. Okay. Go. You know, turn it on. So.
My sister's is the same.
Flowers, we're gonna get a picture.
My dad's. With Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is.
My dad said it was on Wednesday.
They.
She would have been 95.
So she,
hasn't looked much, so. And I'm guessing it's just the They said that you start seeing some failings. Thank you. Very clean. Thank you. It does.
Are we still?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's Saturday. Oh, right, right.
So do you have a value? Sending you to the hospital.
I'm sorry, do you have a
No, I've never been involved.
I think I've had several people from MidYear. The last person was
That's one of those wonderful. Yes, I do.
So.
Oh, your stories about me getting that money, that was cute. Well, that is part of the job.
Yeah, well, they mean the one from,
The one you were telling about, like, you know, that I collect the money.
yeah,
I
that's
sit
it,
there,
right.
You know, and it's
Well,
like.
Annie Ford wrote the one about the,
I got
yeah,
it.
thank you.
That was,
Yeah, it's all good.
those things so sweet of all of them. Okay.
So hang on. She wanted to see my husband. She did. Because she. Why did the doctor say
Here. Are you a good picture taker?
I know where to put your button.
Okay, but we need Sharon in the room.
I'm good at looking in the background and make sure you don't have horns coming out here.
Oh, please do.
Well, so much.
Yes.
It's about romance, how to just follow us.
Okay, great.
Okay, I would have. I put
We're doing. I want to be in the room group. That's what we're working on.
She said, she has a place there. Oh, please.
Me.
Okay.
Oh, Patricia Adams.
I don't have one on. Well, she wasn't on when I started. Okay, let's, yeah, Evelyn was on and she's off now. Okay, she's off. And Patricia, so I think those were the only two that were on.
Aren't you a little surprised? I thought Sue Patterson would be coming on.
Me too, why didn't she come?
Well, it was something to do with a paper that she was working on, but maybe it was, she was presenting it this week. I don't,
Yeah.
anyway. I'm just surprised that there were so few.
Well, I'm almost out of my battery, so I need to like charge it back up again.